and do what we do. We got our sister Sherri live in the building this morning. We're going to hear from her in a few shakes. I was waiting for Instagram to give me a problem. It is.
I know. I use StreamYard too sometimes, so I definitely understand.
No problem. It's giving me problems.
It's just my expression of how why MCs sting. Seek a shelter from mayhem, they won't doubt you. And there's all types of programs to reach out to. No need to feel ashamed.
And I think when I look this way, the camera's on the right side. Am I looking on the right side?
Looking right.
Yeah. If I look this way, am I looking right at the camera?
Looking right. Okay.
Yeah. You know, on the iPad, it
looking right at you. Hey, it's looking right out there to the people. It's just chiming in.
Yes.
Okay, that's all we need to do. It's chiming in. Again, peace and love. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in. So this morning, this AM, we are back live in the circle again. We haven't been here for a minute. We was here last month with Judy Moore. Judy Moore came on and talked to us about some amazing things, sharing her story with us, letting us chime in and, get some more information about domestic violence and those many tags that it wears. October was, of course, the great month that everybody chimes in to domestic violence awareness. And we was able to get out and talk to the people about domestic violence this month. I normally like to just close domestic violence with many tags and go out in the community in October, and support everybody else on what they're doing, in whatever way I can do that. I can do that, by showing up, by promoting on, all of my platforms, by, calling in or whatever y'all need me, speak to somebody, hug somebody, love on somebody, whatever, people ask me to do for that month. That's what I try to do, because being at the school, stuff like that. So when I get them calls and stuff like that, to be out there with the people, I really, try to be out there, and help in any way possible that I can. So we've had a full month of events, everybody coming out and speaking, some amazing events from, so many different advocates. And of course, domestic violence wears many tags. We have our education that we have been providing for the last 17 years. What I can tell you that is so amazing is that domestic violence wears many tags turned 17 years old on 10/20/25. So we just had a birthday. We started the organization in 2008 and been trucking ever since. And let me tell you, we have done something every month for 17 years, every month. And some of those months we've done things 2 and 3 times a month where we're putting information out there. We're having those hard topic conversations around domestic violence wears many tags and those umbrella topics that fall under domestic violence. I've gotten the opportunity to talk to over 100 survivors of, victims and abusers, survivors of domestic violence. So this walk has just been amazing. In the 17 years, I lost my only daughter to domestic violence. 19 years old. On July 30th, 20, my daughter was murdered, unfortunately, by her baby father. The mannequins that can go into a domestic violence to lose their life, all the back and forth and things that we do as it pertains to domestic violence. So we need to just make sure that we chiming in, you know, we talking to people, we saying something, you know, you can reach out in secret. Everybody don't have to know that, you know, you going through a situation, because the abuse is crazy. And whether it's a male or female abuser, they will track you down and figure out what you think you're doing in secret. Okay. So, you know, you got to really be, a victim has to really be careful in strategizing an exit, right? Or even chiming in and saying, Queen of Fee, I want to find out more about what you're doing. Or, you know, reaching out, because the abuser will shut it down, And that shutdown can look like death, you know, and so we don't want that. But we do want sisters to, you know, strategize properly, right, about how to exit that relationship and make sure you have all the tools you need in place to say, no more, I don't care, I'm never coming back, I don't care, I'm going to do whatever it takes to save my life, I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to be great, you know, and I'm a life, you know what I mean? Like this might be going on for now, like sis was just saying to me about that vision, and she gonna get into it for us today about that vision. You know, it's sad that our sisters don't have a vision because they living in something like domestic violence, or, you know, they faced with mental health issues, or they just have that low self-esteem, you know, and just don't have the confidence to believe in itself. Our sisters suffer with body image issues. You know, our sisters are suffering in menopause. Our sisters are suffering in postpartum depression. We have sisters that are suffering so deeply with so many things. We have sisters that are suffering with grief, and I mean cumulative grief. They have lost one person after another, and have not gotten the help. And in fact, a lot of sisters don't even know where to begin to get the help, to reach out to somebody, to say this is happening to me. Because what we do? We do the famous thing that we know to do. Sweep it under the rug. Put our little makeup on. Let me get my lipstick out. We do this. We do this right here. We put our lipstick on. Girl. Yeah,
and make a pretty picture.
It's gonna be all right. It'll work out. And make it look pretty when it's so ugly. When, sister, you don't feel good inside. You don't feel good inside. You not the 100% yourself that you could be. You not thinking with that prefrontal cortex like you should be. You thinking more in a fight, flight, freeze type of mindset. But it'll work for you when you got your lipstick, when you got your little lashes that we go get, when you get your hair done, your wig, whatever, your natural hair, however you want to do it. You know, when you put on your little outfit and you stepping out there, we make it look pretty. I mean, that's easy to do. That's the easy part to do.
Dress it up.
Can you get your butt somewhere and sit down and say, I need to talk to somebody, some help? Can you take the mask off? You know, can you snatch your wig off? You know what I'm saying? Can you snatch them lashes off and get down to the core of what's really going on? See, because that is when it all starts. That's when the cleaning up starts. Okay. And yes, I know you got daughters who you want to try to make it look pretty for, and you got granddaughters who looking in and you want to try to make it look pretty for, but you ain't doing them no good. You're doing damage. You're doing damage to them. All you're doing is teaching them how to dress up, mess up, and not deal with what they really have going on inside. Not allowing them that safe space for the young girl to be able to say, look, I beat my boyfriend up last night. I smacked him. See, we need to make it so that our young girls can be transparent and really be telling us what's going on, right? What's really going on. God is so good, and Anana is so good. Smiley, aka Smiley Nana. I got a call to come to HD Woodson, and this is a place that she and I will frequent a lot, right? If I didn't, this assignment that my daughter gave me, nobody else could have gave me the assignment. The assignment only could have come from my child. I would not listen to nobody else telling me to talk about domestic violence. Because, hey, that's your business. It ain't mine. Right? That's the first thing we go into. That's your business. That ain't my business. I ain't in no relationship like that. That ain't me. We start choking up about who they think they talking to. I don't know who they think. You put your little drink up to your face and you all that about who talking about that? Who talking about that? So I got the call, right? And my daughter, she's so courageous, right? Even when she was here, she got me talk about this conversation. So a sister of mine say, look, I need you to come over HD Woodson and have that conversation. So this was a spot that me and my daughter frequent, right? Took me back to the classroom that me and my daughter was in together before she got murdered, right? And I said, wow, I'm going back into the same classroom. God is so good because he will bring you back around that corner, honey. Just when you think that you have progressed, you know, you'll never see those people again. You'll never step foot in that genre again. God brings you back around that corner, right? Brought me back around the corner, had me in the same classroom. So I'm comfortable. I know where I'm at. This good for me because now I can really chop it up. And you know what? I can really stamp my story. See, because with the young people, you gotta, you know, it's levels to them. They gotta trust you. You see what I mean? So it's levels to them. But by us being in that classroom, I could literally stamp what I'm telling them about domestic violence wears many tags, about mental health, as well as about my daughter's story. I say my daughter was in this classroom, they all their mouth dropped open. I said, we was in this classroom together, talking to another group of females about domestic violence. And my daughter started talking and saying, well, I had to knock on his door and I was saying to him, open the door, open the door. Like, you need to open this door, come out here. Yeah, I'm here. So, and me, I'm on the other side of the classroom looking at my daughter like, now she ain't tell me about that. She didn't give me that information about how she was knocking on it. I'm like, this was whole new to me. Now we had our talks and I knew she was going through it. But when she said that, I was like, wow. And then I was like, she actually sharing it with the girls. Mm-hmm. She actually telling the girls what was currently going on to her in that relationship, which was completely courageous, even though I was shocked because that was one of the pieces that she had not told me yet, right? So I was shocked. But then I said, well, dang, she sounded like her mother down there telling the girls what's really going on at that current moment in her life. Come on now, somebody.
It just came full circle.
I couldn't tell that story. In you know, be in that same room.
Yep.
Where my daughter was at, her spirit was there because she brought us back there. She brought me back there to that classroom to have that conversation again with another group of. So I had to let the young people know that I'm for real.
I'm for real.
That this is not a joke.
Real life.
What I'm sitting here telling y'all. That this is real life. That my daughter was literally in this classroom that we all in. And this is the reason why we're in this classroom, because she brought us back here again to have the conversation. And I knew right then and I said, Smiley girl, you still on your job. You still got your mama on her job. You still got us putting that word out there, you know, and just when like, you know, you get like, you get like, oh my God, you know, am I still meant to do this work? You know, it's 17 years later. Am I still here to tell this story? Like, are people still really chimed in what domestic violence with as many tags is saying? And let me tell you, by my daughter taking my butt back to that school, back to the same classroom that we was in, let me know, sis, you got to keep going. You got to keep doing the work. You got to keep talking about it. It's not done. It's not finished yet. More people need to chime into this conversation. And my young girls was in there being transparent as heck. And I talked to 12th graders. My 12th grade girls, so they getting ready to graduate. They were so shocked that another girl in there, she had a boyfriend. I said, so your boyfriend go to school? She say, he don't go to. I say, that's why y'all don't know her boyfriend. Y'all so nosy. You're trying to know who her boyfriend, he don't go with. We had a good time. Y'all know we have to keep it transparent. We have to keep it truthful with them. We have to let them say whatever they want to say. And everybody respect and appreciate what that next sister is saying. Because she could have been holding that in. And my daughter brought them girls there be able to share and get that other side. Like, you know what, Dad, it's good to hear this. It's good to know, like, not only Miss Queen daughter, but Miss Queen up here sharing this stuff with us and really giving us education on, like, it's real. Like, if somebody's in an abusive relationship, like, it's not love. It's more associated with death than love. You know, and so I really appreciate them. I really appreciate my young girls for that, because my daughter could have saved somebody's life. It's supernatural, it's divine. You know, she could have saved one of them girls' lives in me. I don't know. But the energy that we got is definitely possible. Out come the young girls, here come the young men. Then the young men shows up in their section. And they just excited about this girl talking about domestic violence, like, and that we can be victims of domestic violence, and that females should not be putting their hands on us, just like we should not be putting our hands on them. And that it starts with verbal abuse. And like, we need to understand that when a female start that mess, like, we need to be done. There's no way that we should let something like verbal abuse continue to escalate. When I dropped that piece about my daughter dying, the guys was just so floored. When I told them that my daughter was in this classroom, it just hit home for the guys. Now, you know, it's hard to talk to the young men about some daggone domestic violence, because they're often accused as the abusers. They're never really seen as victims of domestic violence, right? But in my class, they're victims of domestic violence, right? And so to know that somebody killed your daughter, you know, and brothers, this could be y'all. This could be, you know, your daughter in a relationship and she get murdered. That's right. You know, and we have that perspective of the conversation too, because we need to start letting our young men know that it could be their daughter that this happened to, and how would they need to handle it at the end of the day if this happened to their child when they get out there and start getting a wife and having children and things of that sort. So I wanted that. And the young men, they got their hope bags. They actually took all of the pins and the trinkets and stuff that we put in their bags. The guys actually took it. I said, guys, would y'all take these bags? With y'all? They was like, yes, Miss Queen, I want a bag. I want a bag. I want a bag. I was so happy that they got their bags, and they was thanking me so much and hugging me for having that conversation with them, where they didn't feel like they were the abuser. They were perpetrators. but yet they are in fact victims of domestic violence first.
I was
Just
going to
like
say
our
that
daughters are
some of them
victims
are
of
victims too.
domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
are victims of domestic violence first. And in fact, if they grew up in it,
Mm-hmm.
they're victims of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
If our young girls grew up in it, they're
Mm-hmm.
victims of domestic violence. If you're a mother with sons, don't you ever think that your son is not a victim of domestic violence, and you know that they grew up in it, or they could be a victim of domestic violence because they done met a woman or they got a girlfriend who is an abuser.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you ever think that the female can't be an abuser,
Happens every
because
day.
they are.
Mm-hmm.
Happens every day, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get Sis on here. Happy birthday to Smiley. We'll get back to this. Sis, I'm gonna get you on because we got to hear from our sister. All right, we got to hear from our sister today. I want her to come on because even though we having this hard topic conversation, she got some beautiful stuff and nuggets to drop on us because we need that other side. We need that encouragement. We need to know that somebody can love on. We need to know how to love on ourselves. We need to have patience. We need to talk about strengthening our our love for ourselves first, and knowing how to do that. So sister's going to help us do that today. I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming. I'm so grateful that we can do this. I'm gonna play the video. Let me try to get the video up.
Meet the motivator, a change agent. She delivers inspiration through storytelling and authentic, genuine conversation that an AI-generated bot cannot. Her real talk delivery shifts the atmosphere, inspires change, and shuts down negative thinking. As an accomplished author, speaker, talk show host, facilitator, and professional MC, Sherri leaves audiences with an experience. Motivated by her unwavering faith in God, she aims to encourage the world one person at a time. Keeping each other motivated works. Now, get ready to be a game changer with The Change Agent, Sherri M. Cook.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Love this. Hello.
Hello.
Just go ahead and take us right on into it. Give it to us raw
Okay.
now. Real
All
raw.
right. Get to
Hello.
I love it. Thank you for sharing earlier.
Give it to us
About
right and raw.
Okay. Thank you for sharing
Smiley.
earlier with your story about Queen Smiley. We truly want to give a happy birthday, heavenly birthday to her, and I feel honored that I'm being able to do this on her birthday. Awesome. What an amazing time to be here. Listen, real quick before I get started, this is a quick poem I wrote. Hello, beautiful. I pray that these words stick to you. Never allow any man or woman, not anyone in the world, to minimize you. This big bad world is designed to tear a beautiful brown young lady down, snatching your self-esteem, encouraging your self-doubt, dictating and controlling your thoughts, belittling your self-confidence, burying your self-awareness, sabotaging your peace, manipulating your feminine, minimizing your appearance, teasing your features, even attempting to imitate your curves, while sexualizing the naturally curved, challenging your beliefs, boxing your thoughts, stereotyping your moves, vilifying your attitude, muffling your cry, dismissing your pain, tolerating your presence, pimping your knowledge, exploiting your gifts. Remember your value. Be cautious. Stay alert. Be intentional. The big bad world is waiting to prey on you. Surround yourself with people that will pray for you. Become a woman of value. Become a valedictorian. Be accountable. Be a leader of integrity. Be unbreakable. Be unbroken. And be easygoing. I gave those value. The word value is that acronym breakdown is be a valedictorian. Be accountable. Be a leader of integrity. Be unbroken. And be easygoing. I wrote that. Hello, beautiful. How are you? I'm Sherri Cook. I'm the Chief Creative Visionary of Keon Works, which stands for Keeping Each Other Motivated Works. I truly believe that encouraging you encourages me. And I want you to bring the world the best of you and not what's left of you. So the opportunities that I get to do this actually help me too, right? Let's come on and give it up for the gift that God gives us 10 times out of 10 is for us and the other person. Right. So today, I know that you see in the flyer that I was going to talk to you today about protecting your vulnerable. I know somebody's probably sitting back like, what the heck does that mean? Protect your vulnerable. After I left my abusive relationship that was more emotional, mental than it was physical. It did get physical towards the end, but it was more mental and emotional where I completely lost myself. I remember being in the courthouse one time, and my mom actually went with me, and I was in the courthouse that day, and my mom said she looked at me and was like, who is she? That's not my child. And I had completely just let myself go. And so that mental and emotional strain that it had on me had me to really neglect me, forget about myself, because I was manipulated in a way that I didn't matter. Only thing that mattered was what he wanted, when he wanted it, how he wanted it to do, what he wanted you to do. And for several years, I allowed that to dictate my life. And from that, I've grown to be a stronger person from that. And so protecting your vulnerable became very important to me afterwards. And I didn't learn this, you guys, until I had to experience it. I don't ever talk to you about anything that I haven't experienced, gone through, or going through. But I promise you, I grew through it. So now I'm able to talk to you about protecting your vulnerable. Wow. What does that mean? A lot of times when we go into protecting our vulnerable, especially after we leave in a relationship, some people will prey on you. Some people will gaslight you and saying, everyone cannot, why aren't you sharing? You should be able to be all of you. If you want to be with me, especially a guy, why can't I know everything, all of you? That's not fair. You're not being honest with me. You're not being open with me. Everyone is not privy to knowing everything. I'm going to just go ahead and put it on out there. Everything about you. Not right away. Okay, we have to do we know who we are supposed to share and who we're not supposed to share with, right? So be careful of who you're sharing with. Be aware of who you share with and where. Okay, everybody doesn't need to know. Your experience is your story. It is your confirmation. It is your truth. And many people will try to debunk it and say that, or one up your experience, especially when you're in a healing phase, when you're really sharing your story. Someone will try to debunk it and say, no, it really wasn't like that. Or maybe, yeah, but you so hard to get along with, but you know how you are. Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I take my part, right? As a matter of fact, but I don't need to be reminded of who I was, just reminded of where I'm going. Yeah, remind me of where I'm going, not who I was, what I did, why I allowed certain things to happen. I have to do enough of that with myself. We don't need to hear it from the other person, right? So be careful who you share your vulnerable with. And that means in any area of your life, outside of just abuse, but in every area, any mistake that you make, anything, take that mistake and turn it into a lesson. But be careful who you share it with. because they may just be a little bit jealous of you. And they may take you back down a road that you're not ready to go back down. Okay. So it's already life-changing for you. Remember, change is inevitable, but growth is optional. All right. And many people don't even appreciate or accept change, so they could never grow. But once you leave a space and once you realize that you deserve better, you deserve more, right? That's where the growth happens, because now you acknowledge. That's the first step into any part of change in our life. Whatever it may be, is acknowledging that there needs to be a different outcome, acknowledging that there's a shortfall on your end. How can I change that? Okay, so yes, be very careful and know that change is inevitable. It's going to happen, especially in this process.
That's beautiful.
Once you leave, your whole entire life will change. And I promise you, it will not change for the worse. It will change for the better once we take a few minutes, like Queen Afi said, and sit down. We can talk about sit down somewhere later. Because Queen, that will take us into a whole nother conversation, okay? Because sometimes we got to get some which way and sit down somewhere, all right? Very important, especially when you see yourself spinning the wheel and having this repeated pattern of, toxic relationships. And I like to call them situationships and not relationships. I think that's another thing that we get mixed up. This wasn't even in the talk, but let me just go there for a second. Relationships, let's look up the definition. Somebody put it in the chat. Relationships are not situations. Relationships mean that you relate to a person. It has a relation. There's a level of trust. There's a level of communication. There's a level of even love and response to a situation that you find yourself in, okay? Because we have found ourselves in situations. They weren't relationships. Yeah. They weren't. They were situations. And we needed to get ourselves out of situations. Okay? So, yeah, we have to begin to look at relationships different and have conversations, since people say that we don't have a lot of them out here, which I beg to differ. I think we do. We have plenty of healthy relationships out here. A lot of times we just refuse to acknowledge them. We refuse to acknowledge them, and we refuse to apply them to our lives. What does that application look like for you, right? I saw in the chat that someone mentioned something about trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is very real. Trauma bonding will keep you, with the word, bonded in trauma. And you will bond with that person and or thing that keeps you bonded in the trauma. Okay? It will just keep you there. It's not even necessarily has to be a person. It could be a habit. It could be a thing. It could be a thing that moves you, drives you, cigarettes or whatever, right? Eating, anything. Gambling. It's whatever bonds you to that trauma to give you a hope of change. And then when it's a person, my Lord, when we bond with a person that is just sitting in their trauma, remember, change is what? Inevitable. Growth is optional. So if the two of you decide to sit in the bonded trauma, what happens? Nothing. Okay, so I love that you shared that about trauma bonding. And really one day, Queen Afi, we need to talk about trauma bonding and soul ties, because soul ties are real. They are real. Even after I left the relationship, I continued to deal with him for several years after. Because the soul tie was there. And I couldn't shake it. And we know what the soul tie is, right? I think we're all grown here. When you become physical with somebody and that physical blows your everlasting mind and they know that they have that over you, you still continue to put yourself in a space of being what? Used and abused. Yeah, we'll talk about that for another whole Lord. That's a whole nother situation. But real quick, I'm gonna give you a couple of points. So if you have your pen and pad, soul ties, sex, it sure is. Lord have mercy. Okay, we'll talk about that, y'all, because we have found ourselves in situations and relationships is different. Yep, we have to think relationships differently. Thank you for putting that up there. I'm gonna leave you with a couple of points, and then we'll end out with 4 ways of
next year.
and 4 ways of protecting your vulnerable. Afterwards, we noticed that a lot of people will tell their story. They'll come out and share. One mistake that many people make is sharing too soon. Be careful with sharing too soon. Having a blind eye can damage you in the long run. I was waking up suffering while trying to survive and still going. Yes, I totally understand. You know how hard it is to continue to thrive when you're trying to heal? Have you ever had a broken or fractured ankle and the doctor says to you, I need you to stay off of your ankle and off of your foot for 6 weeks. That means no going to work. I need you to do X, Y, Z, and you possibly may need physical therapy. And you're like, okay, but I got to work because we're going to thrive through. We're going to push through, right? I got to keep going. I've got to keep pressing forward. And so 3 weeks after, you're like, well, I mean, it hurts, but I can keep going. I got to get to work, right? If I don't get to work, I'm going to possibly lose my job or I'm going to go crazy in this house. And you're sitting there like, well, the doctor said 6 weeks, but 3 weeks, you're like, I think I can do this. I think I'm good. And you go out there in 3 weeks and you start working again. And you start going back at it, right? And the next thing you know, you've done more damage than you thought because you were ready to go speak. But to be honest, your heart was still broken. Your heart was still unhealed, not healed. It was still fractured. You just had a fresh Band-Aid put on it, but you never really healed. You got too involved in the thrive and the survive and not the heal. And that's what happens to us even in when we're leaving relationships, sharing too soon. We open ourselves up for judgment. And then we even begin to maybe trust the wrong person because we haven't given our mental time to what? Heal. The one thing that they always taught us was how to forgive people. Forgive. You should forgive other people. Forgive other people. But what they did not teach us was how to forgive yourself. And how to forgive yourself hits different than forgiving another person. It may even take a little longer, right? Because there are times when you'll be replaying some things in your head. Woulda, coulda, oh my God, what I should have done. How did I allow this to happen? Like what? You'll play with that back and forth in your head. So take some time to heal, okay? So that trusting the wrong person won't happen. Where you'll be able to see the red flags, the yellow flags. You'll be able to see that because you'll be out of your head. Learning to protect, choosing safety over speed and pressure. Be careful of gaslighting. Gaslighting is real. I'm so glad they put a word to it. I can't remember what the word was before it was called gaslighting. Jumping into another relationships can lead you into a space where people have now mastered manipulation. That's it. Mastered manipulation. They've mastered it. And because we decide that we're going to go out and share all of me, I'm going to be honest and open with people, not realizing that people can use that same honesty and then turn it around on you. So be very careful. Be aware. Okay? Feel this person out. All right, we got 4 points. The gift of protecting your vulnerable. Be self-aware. Practice giving yourself grace. Number 2, healing is not about sharing every detail and every secret. And that I talk to people a lot about learning how to tell your story of domestic abuse and domestic violence. I share with people, I have sessions. Sometimes they can be small group sessions, but they can definitely be individual sessions where people will come to me and we'll learn how to share your story. Because there's some details and every secret in those details that you may not want to actually tap into. Believe me, trust me, we're more alike than we are different. Okay. And 10 times out of 10, we've probably experienced some of the same thing. Right. And sometimes in sharing our story, we'll go into re-traumatizing ourselves and re-traumatizing others. So it's important to know how to share your story. Right. The goal in sharing our story is not to leave people in the basement when we tell our story, but to actually pick people up out of the basement. And how can we do that and give people hope for the next phase of their life after experiencing what they thought they could never get themselves out of? Is if we leave them in the basement with all of the dreary details of our story. So we also learn how to do that. Trusting and honoring yourself, honor your pain, and recognizing that. Not about punishing yourself, but giving yourself permission to heal, just like that fractured ankle, right? When a football player gets hurt, what does he do? He sits until the coach says, or until the doctor says, you're okay to go back. He sits. If a model falls and she's been walking the runway, she sits. If she's messed up her ankle or messed up her foot, she doesn't get back out there. She sits until it is healed so that she can show up and give her best walk. Go on and walk, baby. Go on and strut, sis. They gotta sit for a minute. And then last one. And when you guard yourself properly, you give yourself room to heal. You give yourself room to grow. You don't want anybody to come in and stunt your growth, right? You don't want anybody to come in and even if it so happens that you feel yourself setting back a little bit, it's okay. It's okay, right? That means let me sit for a minute. Yep, let me sit for a minute and deal with that. Because life is forever going. There are going to be different scenarios that might happen in your life. You might get to the job and realize that maybe this supervisor is not really nice to me. And that might actually trigger something for you because of what you've experienced with disrespect. Okay? Recognize that. Be able to sit with that for a minute. Like, okay, I get it. This isn't personal. Right? Like, this wasn't personal. But it does need to be addressed. And now you can think about the best way of being able to address that than to bust off on somebody and say, who you think you're talking to? Yeah, I'm not the one. Who you talking to? Oh, okay, miss me with that. So we have to be able to know when we need to take a step back, because there'll be many things. There might even be a song on the radio. Hello? To come on, and it can send you right back into where you were at that time. And you can find yourself almost sinking with the song. So if you really think that song is going to set you back, turn it off. I challenge you. I challenge you to take control of your life today. Turn it off. There's 200,000 different songs out there on the radio you could listen to. Turn it off. Right. If there's a show that triggers you and you see that there's violence happening in the show and it's not suiting, turn it off. I challenge you to take back control of you, of your mind, what you allow to go into your ear gate, what you allow to watch, even what you allow to come out of your mouth. I challenge you, because ultimately the healing is for us, and we want to show up better. So protect your vulnerable, and don't let nobody tell you that you're not healed. Yeah, maybe you're just not healed because you have to protect your vulnerable. I've heard that so many times. Yeah, Sherri, well, if you can say that we need to protect our vulnerable, or you can say that, especially for men, right? Then maybe you're just not healed from it. No, maybe you don't have the right to tell me, right, what I need to protect.
Right.
And I need to protect my heart. Because if I pop off like real Sherri want to pop off on you right now for telling me what I'm supposed to protect, yeah, who you think you're talking to? Yeah. So let me stay in my soft girl. Okay. Let me stay in my soft girl. But yeah, just protect your vulnerable. And I would love to talk to anybody more about it if you want. But I'm all about healing because at one time I didn't see myself healing from this. You know, I thought that this was, and it did set me back in a major way. It really did. I can say that and be honest. It set me back in a major way. I left my home and everything in it. You know, I had to uproot my children and it wasn't even their father, you know. I beat myself up about the impact it had on my children, you know. And so enough is enough. No, sit back and heal that. Have a talk with your children. Real talk. Buy them a journal. I bought both of them a composition book. This is just my book. But I write all the time. All the time. I'm always writing. Always. When something comes to mind, I journal. Whatever that therapy is for you, do it.
Yeah.
And somebody can say, you so childish because you like to color. I'm like, okay, well, call it what you want to. But it's healing for me. I love to tap into my creative. I think it's just it's therapeutic for me. As you can see, writing poems, designing, electronic graphics design, all the things creative just makes me feel at peace. So find that thing that makes you feel at peace, even with all of the shenanigans we done been through, okay? I promise you, if it won't be easy, but I promise you it'll be worth it. So thank you. I'm so grateful, Queen Afif, for having me on. Did you see any questions in the chat? I can scroll back up, but did anybody have anything? Oh, I don't think so.
I did that, but the sisters did put some amazing comments out here. Let's chime into those. Ashley said, that's deep. That's deep. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. I thought that was very interesting. Can you give us one or two highlights on that?
Okay, sure. So the quote is definitely not mine. It came from, I can't remember his name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But the quote is a very old quote. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. Like I was sharing with you, sometimes people will get into a space where the change will either razzle them and they're not able to deal with and process the change. They can get into a space of change being this negative thing. Why does it have to happen? Or something that they really don't look forward to, you know? They get into this space of, I don't like change.
Right.
We've been taught that change could be difficult. Right. But to be honest, sometimes change is necessary. And sometimes change, although it requires you getting a little uncomfortable for a minute, to be honest, it ends up working out, you know? Even on our jobs, if we can think about things like that, especially in relationships. If there's something necessarily that you and your partner can communicate about change, and it can happen smoothly, simply because y'all were able to communicate it, that's a good thing. If there was change that needed to happen because there's a lot of toxicity in the relationship, listen, that is necessary. That change is needed. It's necessary, especially when it's toxic. So, and then once you get out of that, the growth happens. the growth happens.
Mhm.
Because now you recognize your relationship that was healthy and positive, recognizing that the change was necessary. And then even with the negative, you've recognized now that,
Yep.
oh, okay, I needed that. That change was needed. I needed to get myself out of that toxic relationship, even though it was uncomfortable. So, yeah. That's when growth happens.
Mhm. I needed that. Good. Okay. Into Tabby. Tabby had a few things to put out too today. Let me go back. Tabby
Let's
says
see.
something about the blind eye, and you mentioned it a little bit. She actually, Tabby said a couple of things. So she said, having a blind eye can damage you in the long run. I was waking up and suffering, trying to survive and still going, if that makes sense. What was Tabby actually doing? I mean, or the blind eye part is really what is getting me right there. So how can we not turn a blind eye? Is that sort of like facing that trauma head on? Because like you were saying, a lot of sisters, could that be a form of them protecting their vulnerable, and so they turn a blind eye? Give us a little insight on the blind eye piece. I found that very interesting when she said that.
Sure. You know, I love
Because I think we all
add,
do it.
I like to add life to it, or a story that you can visualize when I share, right? So like I was telling earlier, a small story. So turning the blind eye would be something like, you know what?
Can you hear me,
I know
sis?
that
It
I'm
might be a little
unhappy.
technical.
I know I'm unhappy. I know that this is not for me. But you know what? Let me sweep this up under the rug. That's turning the blind eye. That's like, I know it's there. The dirt is there. I'm just going to sweep it up under the rug, and I'm just going to keep going. Right? And you turn around and end up doing more damage than the damage control, like I put in the chat earlier. Doing more damage than damage control. And you'll find you're just surviving. And many people will just be out here just surviving, not ever thinking about that. Has there got to be more to life than this? This relationship is draining me. This relationship is exhausting me mentally, but I'm going to keep sweeping it up under the rug. You know, I'm going to just keep sweeping it up under the rug. And I'll deal with it later. I'll get out whenever I get out. Well, maybe, you know what? Do I really want to leave? I mean, he ain't that bad. You just turn the whole blind eye to justify why we stay. I always say that there's no reason when you have to justify being in any type of relationship. It's a situation. When you have to justify, like, let's say with your doctor. Do you justify why do you go to your doctor? Or do you say, you know what, I think he gets me. I like him. You know, he's always looked out for me. I think my doctor, he has my best interests at hand. Or do we sit there and be like, you know, I don't know. He's good and everything, but I don't get it. Sometimes I don't understand what he's saying. And sometimes I don't even want to go to my doctor because he just draining me. He don't even answer my questions. But I do go. If you have to sit and do that with your intimate partner relationship, he nice and everything. We good. No, that's my boo. I roll with him. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? We get down, whatever. And then in the same breath, you could be like, but he get on my nerve. Oh my God. Like, girl, every time I try to do something, he just tell me I ain't this and I ain't that. And, you know, now you're starting to respond to the word B. You name B more than you are your name Ashley. You the B more than you are Sherri. You know, but you sit back and justify why I stayed with him, girl, because I got to keep these lights on. I'm not leaving my house. No, I ain't leaving my house. You can forget that. Nope. I ain't going nowhere. No. What? for a house and for some lights? We willing to lose our peace of mind and feel like we being dog walked every day? Yeah, no, that's not healthy. So that's what I mean
Yeah.
when that's what I hear when you say I turned a blind eye. It's like I'll deal with what I deal with, but I'm just here. Have you put
I
yourself on time restriction to heal?
I
Definitely.
turned a
I
blind.
sat for about 3 years.
Yeah, I turned.
hmm Yep, about 3 years I sat.
Yeah, let me ask that question.
Sure.
Have you put yourself on a time restriction to heal? That's a very good ask that question.
Indeed, and still do. Hello. It's not going to happen overnight. I can't give you a cookie cutter approach and say, girl, if you sit for about a year, you'll be a whole new person. And life is going to be totally different. No, just like the healing in the death of a loved one, just like the healing process that goes into when you have to grieve the loss of something. You literally have to grieve the loss of even that relationship. Let's just be honest. We really thought this person was going to be that person. We thought we were in love. There's a part of that story that we have to grieve. There's a part of you that was lost in that story that has to heal. For some, that may be a little stronger, or whatever word we want to put on it, may look like 3 or 4 months. And they out here, okay, whatever. But there's some people, I was only in my relationship physically for 3 years. But like I said, I continued to deal with the person after I left the physical in the same house relationship. I still dealt with them. So that was, additional wounds that I had to continue to heal. And I can't tell you that it's going to be this thing that you just wake up tomorrow and it's going to be all good. The thing is recognizing that you're healing and that you're allowing growth to happen, and that you understand where you are. And like people
That's
say,
good.
I'm so glad I don't look like what I've been through.
Very good.
Okay? So, yeah.
Yeah. That's what they say. Judy said, Judith Moore said, I love it when you said watch for the yellow flags, because sometimes the signs don't seem red. Okay. So I love when you said watch for the yellow flags, because sometimes the signs don't seem red. And she said that was deep. That is deep.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be honest with you. I think I definitely saw red flags in the beginning. But those yellow flags now, those cautionary things that kind of sit there and you're like, could this grow into something? Will this monster get bigger than this? Because like I said, mine was more mental and emotional, right? It was going physical when I finally left. But that yellow flag that he was throwing at me, I literally was like, oh, that's not that bad. Not realizing that yellow flag was leading into that red flag. But I just brushed it under the table, And that the first thing that was ever said to me that I should have paid attention to was, I'll bust your head to the white meat. Should have paid attention to that. That wasn't just a red flag, but that was a cautionary thing to say. Flag on the play. Wait a minute. They're going to throw the flag. Flag on the play.
Right.
Yellow. Flag on the play. This could get worse.
Right.
Listen. Right. Hold up. I know it was just words. I know people say sticks and stones may hurt me, and words will never hurt me. Or what's that saying, Queen? That old crazy saying we used to say. Yeah.
Right.
Words will tear you down. Yellow flag. Yeah. That was a big caution flag that I just was like, oh no. Caution tape and everything up, y'all. The yellow and black caution tape up everywhere. It was the words, you know, it was the words. Caution tape everywhere. And I just was like,
that was a good one.
no,
Now
that's not what he mean.
the ladies keep saying something as we come to a close because we got to get out of here. I know you got somewhere to be. Thank you so much for chiming in to us. The last one is going to be two of the sisters, Tabby and beautiful believer Ashley, talked about the damsel in defense. They feeling like we shouldn't be, or we crying out as damsels in defense. How does that tie into protecting our vulnerable type of thing?
Well, you know, we have to keep ourselves safe no matter what. I know a lot of us feel even vulnerable when we're not protected, because being with somebody gives you a sense of protection, you know? It gives you, and when you're not, you're kind of just out here. And so the damsel in defense, would I want to put that with protect your vulnerable? Is that what that's saying? No, I don't think that I would put them in the same. I think that
like, how can the two coincide? Because you might be this. Go ahead.
I think because all of us, like I said, as a woman, protection is one of the P's that you look for in a relationship. Protection, providing, a man that prays. So it's one of the things that you do look for. Us protecting our vulnerable, I don't quite put that with damsel in defense, because I feel like our mental and our heart deserves us to show up for us. And if we don't show up for ourselves, who else will?
How do you put it?
So I definitely think that we need to show up for ourselves. And that is our damsel in distress, I guess, protection, you know, showing up for your mental, showing up for your peace of mind, showing up for your heart and protecting it. So I guess it would be kind of the same. Yeah. And sometimes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, sis. I appreciate you today. I know you got to run. I'm going to stick around for a few, but I know you have to run. Thank you so much for chiming into us. We learned so much, and our conversation may continue in the live chat with the Sister Circle.
Okay.
And of course, you'll be there with us to help us. I want you there, present, because you can really start to help us chime into that vision part, just like you're doing with us today. We're so grateful for this conversation because we always talk about fire, fire, fire. But you gotta, like you said, start talking about protecting our vulnerable too, which is very good. I really, really love that, because that's me too. That's including me too. I'm never void from none of the conversations. Go ahead.
I want to share this real quick before I leave. In that time that I sat with myself, I had to tap into what they call now the soft girl. She was always there. She's in you too. She's there. But we have been taught to be strong, show up. You're the single mom. You got all of the answers. You got this. Who you, girl, please. You don't need no man to do this. You got this. And I was so used to showing up. I got this. I don't need you to do this for me. Who you think you talking to, right? I wish you would. As a matter of fact, I'm going to meet you there. Yeah. I best you beat me there, because if you don't beat me there, I'll be there before you. I'm going to go from 0 to 100 real quick. But not until I really started to tap into the softer side of me, the side of me that was not afraid of being vulnerable, but learning how to protect it. Yeah, that's when some things change, you know? And so how I show up has changed. I can't say that I showed up like this in my last relationship. I have to be honest, you know? I think a lot of it came from having to be defensive.
It sure feels like it.
But I tell you, I didn't show up like this. Yeah. So yeah, that's what those 3 years really taught me, to really sit with me and be okay with me and my soft girl. That's what I love, you know? So yeah, we can talk about all that later. Okay. See you, son.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank you
This
so
is awesome.
much.
I appreciate you. Got to get to Montgomery County.
Really awesome. Thank you so much.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you so
Love
much.
y'all.
I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay. Love you, sis. Thank you. Yes, sisterhood. Y'all heard what our sister said, Sherri. Sherri said it. Now, what y'all want to do about it, I don't know. But I do know. We better get our butts somewhere and start protecting our vulnerable. I know that. You better get your butt somewhere and start protecting. I know that. Do we have any other sisters that want to chime in quickly before we go? Because sisters been chiming in the chat, sisters been chiming in on the live. Do we have any sisters that want to chime in on anonymous call? If not, we're gonna keep it moving. Okay, because I know we got to go. So the roll call is thank you so much, Smiley, Smiley, Smiley. Happy birthday, Smiley. Happy 29th birthday, right here, always on her mama's shoulder. Always that chimed in this morning, sisters. Y'all know that I love y'all, appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate Sherri. Sherri is in our circle live with us. She's gonna be chiming in with us, helping us, you know, learn that strategy of protecting our vulnerable. It's a thing. She's made it a thing for us, and it's a very good thing for us. I know we had a few technical difficulties, sort of a delay coming in, but you know, charge it to, you know, our head and not our heart, right? The enemy is a liar. We are here to do what God has called us to do, and that's what we're going to do. God gonna put that fire out on the end, on the backside. The other thing was that to all of our brothers and sisters that are facing the government shutdown, Lord have mercy. My prayers and love go out to every single one, every single person, every single family that is enduring something so atrocious right now in these times. And then we dealing with death, and then we dealing with ISIS, and then we dealing with a president who has no regard for what, you know, we feel like he should care about. And then, you know, Congress is being paid, but American families are not being paid. There's a lot of things that are going on, food pantries and stuff that are starting. Thank God for Wes Moore, because he's decided that families will eat in Maryland. So thank God for that. But I know there are still, you know, some families that are under distress at this time and just don't know. You know, things don't seem sure. Same, just a year ago, you know, we all were eating. We all were eating just a year ago, right? And we was barely doing that because what we were doing, coming up out of COVID, which we still have not gotten out of that. We're still in that. And so to turn around and have to have, you know, people losing their jobs and people being, you know, tons of people having to push that button to accept buyouts and all of these things that they may not feel comfortable with doing right now. You know, it's just sad. It's sad. But I want you to know that in that we got to do what Sherri said. We got to protect our vulnerable. And we got to show up for ourselves irregardless of what is going on. We got to show up for the people that we love irregardless. Because let me tell you something. I have survived the death of a child. All right. Now, before that, I survived the war on drugs. Before that, I survived the AIDS crisis. Before that, the asbestos, anthrax, or whatever you want to call it, crisis. There are many struggles that, to God be the glory, I was able to triumph because my parents had me. Dr. Gaston and Mama Gaston prepared me for such a time as these, right? My brother, I credit him. He trained his sister for such a time as this, right? To be able to press through those struggles. But sometimes we don't protect our vulnerable. We just be going. And we forget about us as sisterhood. We forget about us as sisters, as moms, as aunties, as grandmas, as great grandmas, as our sister spiritual advocates, our sisters that are out here preaching and teaching, our sisters on the front line, the battlefield, our sisters that are cutting at night and crying at the same time, our sisters that are shooting up and snorting up and drinking up because we don't protect our vulnerable. We don't show up for ourselves. And all that mess. And then we get with partners and be with people that don't love us. Because they don't love themselves. So how they gonna love us? We are with people that don't love themselves. That can't help us begin to love us and protect our vulnerable. That cannot help us do that. So I want to take that extra minute and make sure that I stamp with Sister Sherri out there for us today. And it's true. And we got our roll call. Tabby, put y'all happy birthday smileys up here. Ashley, beautiful belief. Y'all still here. Say it one more time while we got the roll call going on. Let me tell you something. This girl right here couldn't have put her mother on this. She was the only one who could get on her mother's nerve and get me to popping my stuff out here. Yeah, man. Get me to popping my stuff out here about domestic violence in the many times that week. And Sherri said, sometimes, I pops off. I ain't. Sherri said some of them come out there, and they pops off. And I do. I can't even fake like I don't. I do. I do. And I'm one of them speakers that could maybe trigger you. I accept that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's all I can say is I'm sorry before the conversation gets started. I'm sorry before the conversation gets started. But let me tell you, my sister, I'm not going to let you live in that bull crap no more. I'm sorry. Thank you, sis. She got the butterflies. Snap, 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 snap. All the butterflies. Come on, that's somebody. I'm not, sister. I'm not going to let y'all live in that crap. Because my daughter be on my shoulder like, Mom, you got to say it. And because I say things that she couldn't say. I say things that my daughter couldn't say to that joker. And trust me, he was a whole joker. Funny meant no good. And that's the same type of people, sisters, that we be involved in. Just like Judy told us on the last Sister Circle. We be linking up with people who ain't planting no seeds for us. They not planting no seeds in us. Yeah, that's Smiley. They not planting them seeds in us. But Smiley is out here still planting seeds in us, sisters. She's still planting seeds in us. And even though she couldn't say it, she's saying it now. She says it now. And she on each one of our little shoulders being our angel. We got our own personal angel. When you meet Smiley, that baby that was born on 11/02/1996, who helped her mom do something in life, give back, have a purpose. Y'all know I get to crying every time now. Y'all know I get to crying and shed my tears every time because what this baby did for me in my mess that I was in. And Sherri got me crying because she really hit some chords with me. Because she was here because my daughter wanted her to be here. I'm telling y'all that this baby changed my whole life for the better. For the better. Because I was treading down rocky roads. I was treading down rocky roads, and I didn't know which way was up and which way was down. I didn't know if I was going to live today or die in the next second as soon as I walked out on my porch over 4th Street, Northeast Washington, D.C. Okay? But this baby said, Mom, you got to have the conversation. And my daughter seen me. She saw me do some things that I ain't had no business doing pertaining to domestic violence. She saw me living a life pertaining to domestic violence. Bad street life, as we want to call it. Evil. Wasn't nothing good coming out of that. Happy birthday, Smiley. She's still popping her stuff and got tears coming down because it's real. What she did for me and what she do for all of us. What she's doing for all of us who see her story, see her picture, go to her page, Smile for Smiley Love Movement page on Facebook. All her church sisters. All her sisters that went to school with her. All her sisters who just heard about her story over the internet when it bust down the internet. All the sisters who was at the candlelight, at the service, at the funeral service, at the grave. Sisters still go to the graveyard right now today because she is all about personal angel. She is all about personal angel. And when you don't know, when you feel like you don't know, or when you feel like you can't, when you don't feel like you understand, Smiley, Nana is planting those seeds in us. Yes, she is. Amen. Amen, Judy. You said it on the last Sister Circle. Sisters, if y'all didn't hear Judy's Sister Circle, y'all need to hear her Sister Circle. On top of what Sherri shared for us today, these sisters is kicking it all. 2025 into 2026. Our sisters always crank. They always crank. And sisters is coming back with full force. I'm telling you, they coming back with some amazing topics that sisters, we all need to hear from our other sisters. Whether they still in it today, right now, and that sister got the courage to talk, and I got a sister who she gonna be talking, and she been shot 15 times. She gonna be coming on here, sharing her story, getting in our sister circle, and giving us that love, and we gonna surround her, and we gonna walk with her. We gonna walk with any sister. Because Smiley said so. We are being convicted here today. And I don't mean to go to church, but I'm going to take that extra time and go to church because God want me to. Smiley want me to. Because this ain't about me. This ain't about me because my daughter helped me, the underdog. She planted seeds in her own mother. Okay, so don't ever think your daughter can't plant no seeds in you and turn you into the woman that you're supposed to be. Because let me tell you what Smiley did for me. That baby turned me into the woman. And you ever think your daughter will do that for you? You think you do that for your daughter? You never think your daughter will do that for you. But that baby turned her mother into the woman that she is today. And I walk with my head held high, even though a fool murdered my child. Even though a fool murdered my child, yeah, I can take it up. Like I told Blake the other day, Blake, I can take that up. But then you wouldn't have nobody. You wouldn't have nobody. So your father need to make it right with you. And I'm going to continue to do what your mother want me to do. See, that's how real it get when you talk about a child who is growing up in something like this. And the tears come flowing down my face every time, y'all know. Every time. This is what you call protecting your vulnerable, when you can say out there to the people that this baby changed your life, your own daughter who you born into the world and supposed to love and protect and cherish and honor. She did that for me. She did that for me. And so whatever assignment that she gave her mother, whatever assignment that she put me on, I am going to do it. I will see it through. Because look what she did for her own mother. Judy, she planted them seeds in me, sis. I'm trying to tell you, my daughter planted them seeds in me and got me on life with a purpose. With a purpose. My own daughter gave me my purpose about what I'm supposed to do. And she did this before she was murdered. See, this didn't go on when she got murdered. She did this before she got murdered. Because 7 years before she was murdered, she and I, you heard me say, were out here having the talks at the high schools. She's the reason why I can go into high schools and somebody listen to me. Because she made that happen. This was before my daughter was murdered. 7 years before we were together on the assignment. And then she was murdered. I need to make that clear. Because for some reason, people think that I started the organization after my daughter got murdered because that's more common. I get it. That's more common. No. I was already doing the work. Me and my daughter together doing the work. Doing videos. We had videos. We out the YouTube, Dvwmt YouTube is banging. My daughter is in all of the things behind the scenes, up front, in the classrooms with me. She knew what domestic violence was. She knew what it was for other people. See, that's how it can get you too. You know what it is for other people, but you don't know what it is when it happened to you. See, she knew what it was for other people. She knew the assignment that God told her to put me on for other people, including her mother. But she didn't know what it was for herself. It can be like that too. Right? I accept that. I accept that. And I still love her. And I'm going to still do what she told me to do. I'm going to still do the assignment. And in fact, she's still doing the assignment. So I'm very appreciative. I'm very appreciative of all of my sisterhood. I love all of y'all so much. Oh, you got a friend tag who was shot? You need to get her on with us, sis. ASAP. You need to make that happen. Sisters, y'all know sisters who need the sister circle. They need to be here. All you got to do is shoot them the link or shoot them the phone call, the anonymous phone call. They can get on there and work, put the headphones in. The abuser don't gotta know. You know, she can say she listening to music. You know, she can camouflage that versus being able to come out somewhere. Sometimes, you know, victims can't just come out. You know, sometimes sisters that have left the relationship can't just come out. They not ready for all of that. but they may want to listen. And that's why the anonymous call is very important as well. So make sure tap in, pass it along. This too shall pass, sis. This too shall pass. Say so what? We might got a sister who want to chime in. Okay, sis, say, please unmute me. I got to let the sister on, y'all, before we go. We gonna get out of here. But God got us here. Sis, come to say what you want to say.
Happy heavenly born day.
Yes.
Smiley, girl, you got me pumped in here.
Let's go, sis. Let's go.
I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for opening up. And I just wanted to give my heartfelt and most sincere love, appreciation, gratitude, respect for you who have literally, girl, when you say you've been doing that work, and like you said, a lot of sisters don't know, people think it was since your beautiful daughter's transition. Nah, I remember you was out pounding those pavements for years.
Come on now.
And you drew me in. So I love you. I appreciate you. I respect you.
Yes.
It's been a powerful show. Got me pumped as I go forward throughout my day. You know, you both, Sherri was powerful.
Sherri was
I made
powerful.
some notations.
And since you coming on next month,
you
gonna be here next month.
Yeah, I'm appreciating. I'm excited.
I'm looking forward
to it, and yeah, I mean, I'm really inspired. And honestly, as I listen to you share, about how Smiley impacted you and guided you to go literally, it was full circle, going back to the roots.
Yeah.
Going back old school, how you began.
Yes.
And so your whole message this morning really inspired me, continue to motivate me, keep me pushing.
Yes.
Keeping I'm encouraging all the sisters on the line to be good to yourself, honor yourself, love yourself, no matter what. Because I hear and I'm aware of everything that's going on out here in this climate. But guess what? God is still, has always been, will be, and will always be in charge, period.
That's right.
And as long as you can look up, keep pushing.
Thank you so much.
So don't allow your circumstances to define you.
Yeah.
Know that the presence and the power of God is in you, through you, as you.
That's right.
And you keep being that light, because you never know, as you shine and being your authentic self, how you inspire others. So literally, I really, like I said, I definitely wanted to let you know I appreciate you continuing to invite me to these powerful, transformative, and inspiring calls, because you can always learn. So I'm a lifetime student. I appreciate you. I love you for who you are. And, anything that I can ever do to add value to what you're doing, yeah, definitely, always. I'm just a phone call away. So I love you. Like I said, happy Heavenly Earth Day, born day to Smiley.
Yes.
And I'm really grateful to God. I mean, I'm just closing my eyes in this moment. Girl, you got me shouting up in here.
Yes,
so I love you, Queen. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And may you continue to prosper and flourish.
Thank you so much, sis. Yes,
Thank you.
Lord. Yes, Lord. Y'all heard her sis coming on. She coming on with us next month, sis. Next month she coming on. So y'all make sure y'all be here, because we pressing forward in, what God has called us to do. I can't do this without the sisterhood. Sisterhood, we've been together 17 years. Ain't no need to stop now. We might as well keep on going. We might as well keep on going and keep on getting our sisters with their topics, talking to us, sharing with us, giving us that insight, giving us that love. 1 million people need to know Smiley's story, and they will. They are chiming in more and more to Smiley's story. And that's because of all of y'all. That's because of the sisterhood. That's because we are consistent. We have been consistent. Consistent. 17 years consistent. And sisters have gone, but they ain't gone far. Sisters ain't gone. The sisters ain't gone nowhere. We can reach out to this one and reach out to them. Sisters chime back in. They say, Queen, where you been at? Oh my God, you still do this, sister? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sister circle. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. We do it in the school system. Every time I go in there, every time sisters have come with me and went in there, we get that sister circle together. We get it together. So 17 years, sisters, celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself, because you deserve the love for, making sure that domestic violence wears many tags. Sister Circle, we stay relevant because we real, raw, and uncut. We are ready to put our sisters in better positions, in safer spaces, emotionally, mentally, and physically. We are saying to our sisters, you got mental health, you got grief. Girl, you ain't got nothing that none of us ain't never had before. None of us still. We choose to start, sisters. We got to be committed to starting to protect our vulnerable and showing up for ourselves, because that make us better to show up for our daughters and all of the young females that we gonna run to, and our baby boomers and our elder community of women that we gonna run into. And even our elder community women got low self-esteem and low confidence. They don't believe. And these were some believing women back in the day. Their belief in God got us to where we are today. But there are many of them who don't believe. And so when we come in there young and vibrant, we got that fire, and we say, look, thank you for helping us believe in ourselves. That gives them hope. That put the light around our elder women in our community. And they need that. And we got to stand and fill the gap for all ages of our sisterhood. That's why a 5-year-old can get on here and talk to us. A 12-year. I have talked to 12-year-old sisterhood. All right. They got on here and gave us some sisterhood and planted some seeds in us. Age ain't nothing but a number when it comes to Dvwmt Sister Circle. Okay? We can learn at all ages and stages from one another. How to do better, how to be better, how to listen better, how to respond better. All of the things what Sherri talked about with us today. Okay? So sisters, make sure you go out there in the community and you tell somebody, get your sisters on, because our sister Deanna is coming back next month. First Saturday, our sister circle is the first Saturday of the month. We get here at 9:30. And sometimes we went over today because Smiley's birthday is tomorrow. So, and I know sisters, I needed to get some things out in the sister circle. So thank y'all. I love my sisters. And y'all know if I can do anything to help my sisterhood, y'all know I will. I'll pop up on you. Okay. I'll pop up on you. But if you can give me some advance notice, I appreciate that too. But if I can pop up on you, I will. I know things are last minute. I know things are crisis. If you know people that that are in crisis, sister that are in crisis, you got to say, look, I know something that can help you. I know somebody that can help you. We got to let them know that we know where the help is at if they really want it. You see, because at the end of the day, it's the victim's choice. It was my daughter's choice. It was her choice to go back over there to Marlboro Plaza. Don't nothing good happen in that building. They need to tear it down. But anyway, that was before my daughter. Did nothing good go on in that building over there. People was raped and their children was being molested in that building. I mean, just one thing after another over Marlboro Plaza in Southeast Washington, D.C. Okay, I'm going to send the spirit of the Lord God over there every single time in that building, as well as all of our houses, all of our sisterhood, our houses, all of our communities around the world that are struggling, sisters that are struggling, mothers that are losing their daughters, being put in the back of the trunk, sisters being shot, and Dakara Thompson thrown out on the highway, discarded as nothing. No, sisters, we got to say something. We got to say something. Okay? Get on your yellow brick road to healing, like our sister Ashley, beautiful believer, is saying. Get on the yellow brick road to healing. Because we done been on this road for 17 years, all of us. We done been on our yellow brick road to healing for 17 years. And heck, I'm starting to feel a little good. Every time I get a little better, Every time the sister get a little better, y'all make me a little better. I get to come on here and cry and yell and fuss and love and hug and kiss. Oh, my sister, mwah, 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 mwah. I ain't got nothing but kisses for y'all. Because y'all bring that fire. And then y'all give me a fire. And then we temple, we the Mars. Okay, we Buddha. We got the healing hands and the healing power. All right. We the ones who put the children in the earth. We got the power to heal. Come on now. We need to all start protecting our vulnerable and doing what we supposed to be doing out here. And that's not turning your nose up at another sister, but maybe saying, sis, how you doing today? You okay? Well, you know, if there's anything I can do, I will. You know. So I love you. Peace and love, sisters. Y'all go in peace and love. Thank y'all for chiming in. Give somebody a hug for Smiley's birthday. Tell a sister about Smiley's story for her birthday. That's what she wants you to do. She wants you to call somebody, say Smiley's story is amazing. Like, she wants you to send somebody to her page, Smile for Smiley Love Movement page on Facebook. She wants you to put her picture out there and say, look, this girl right here planting seeds and she in heaven. Okay, she my personal angel. She's helped me get better. All right, all of us can do that. You know, they help us bring that 1 million people need to know Smiley's story. They help us bring that 1 million people. Do that at your dinner table. You got little nieces and stuff. Share about Smiley's story. Tell them. I pass my daughter cards out. I give some out. Tell them, look, go look for Smile for Smiley Love Movement. All my young girls. My young men got the cards. I say, look, go check out Smile for Smiley Love Movement. See that story, that amazing story out there about my child who was on this mission with her mother. She was physically on a mission with her mother, and she was murdered. While she gave her mother the assignment, right? She was on assignment, we was on assignment together, but she was murdered. You know, and so I'm still here continuing that work, continuing the assignment. And she's still continuing her work and continuing her assignment. But she's in supernatural form. She's divine. It's divine now. It's divinity she's given us, which is a whole nother aspect of our healing that we need. And that's Deanna going to chime into a lot of this for us. When she come back, she going to help us connect some really good dots in terms of us sisters still being on that yellow brick road to healing and the things we can do more and more to be healing and protecting our vulnerable at the same time. I'm so grateful for y'all, sisters. Y'all just don't know. I'm so grateful for all of you, each and every last one of you that have had babies. Y'all done let me hold y'all babies, kiss them, put my daughter hands on them and heal them, hug them so tight. Tell them in the name of Jesus, this baby is covered. Nothing will happen to this baby. Okay? Sisters, we can heal our own children. We can heal our family. We got the power to do that, but we got to heal. We got to heal. We got to make sure that we are on our yellow brick road to heal. Okay? So I love y'all. Go in peace and love, my sister. Go in peace and love. Y'all know me. I'm a party on out with Young Motive as we come to a close. Thank y'all, everybody on YouTube. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much, my YouTube fan, Instagram, LinkedIn, everybody that's there. We everywhere. We everywhere putting Smiley story out there. We everywhere. Bringing domestic violence with as many takes right to your living room. You ain't got no excuse, sis. You don't have no excuse. No, you don't. Hey.
This is Young Mo.
I know I do. I take it out with Young Mo. Thank you, Young Mo.
That's often
I know he.
domestic violence. Domestic violence with many tags. So Queen of Fear, if you're listening, check it out. Domestic violence. It has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Young Motive is back with the topic of the day. It's a crucial situation that we all must pay more attention to. It's bringing families down. You know me, I know the truth, and I'ma spread it around. It usually happens at home behind closed doors, but it's spreading through high schools and college dorm floors. For the victim, it's like they got their head in the noose from all the scars of the physical and verbal abuse. Men do it to women, women do it to men. It's a cycle that happens over and over again. It's disturbing and far from bliss, and each and every child is emotionally affected by this. I think it's time we bring the dark to the light, to stop the 911 calls in the middle of the night. So I'm reaching out, and I hope it's worth my while. It's erasing the bond between man, woman, and child. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. Breaking up our happy home. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that they're not alone. Stop and think about it. This is your significant other. Why would you want your son to see you put your hands on his mother? Leaving little man shook. It's really a bad look. How he's supposed to concentrate and keep his head in the book? How's your daughter supposed to look up to dad? Don't you know that you're the first male role model she's ever had? The saying goes, a woman wants a man like a father. So what you telling her? To accept this from a man, you gotta watch how you talk to whoever you with. Words hurt, people forgive, but never forget. I guess it's up to a team to teach these things. It's just my expression of how YMC sting. Seek a shelter from mayhem, they won't doubt you. And there's all types of programs to reach out to. No need to feel ashamed, cause it's not your fault. And this evil way of living has to come to a halt. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy home. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know that we're not alone. Domestic violence, it has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. It's breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together, talk about it, and let them know
Blake was a real survivor. She was with her mother when her mother was living. And Blake came out alive. And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for that. Don't you ever forget it, Blake.
This is Young Motive. And I have a topic today that's often overlooked. Domestic violence. Domestic violence with many tags. So Queen Fee, if you're listening, check it out.
Domestic violence. It has to stop. The kids are crying. It's coming down like raindrops. It's a behavior we can't condone. Breaking up our happy homes. Let's get it together. Talk about it and let them know that they're not alone.